ready to unlock the secrets to wealth. Today, we're diving deep into a classic, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It's a legend in the self-help world, and for good reason.
Yeah, it all started with, well, imagine being Napoleon Hill, tasked by steel tycoon Andrew Carnegie to interview hundreds of millionaires over 20 years. Talk about pressure.
Wow, that's quite the assignment. But what's cool is he didn't just write a boring biography, He distilled their wisdom into 14 principles, almost like a blueprint for success.
And the best part, these principles, they apply whether you're in a bustling city or, say, a quiet village.
It's about that inner power, achieving any goal, not just money. But speaking of money, it all starts with desire.
Desire, yeah. Most people think it's just, I want this. But Hill goes deeper. He's talking about a burning, all-consuming desire, the kind that fuels every action you take, almost like becoming obsessed with your goal.
Okay, so it's not just wishing on a star. It's got to be that fire in your belly. How do you even cultivate that kind of intense desire?
Well, Hill lays out 6 steps to solidify this desire. And it's not some mystical ritual, more like concrete actions, like writing down exactly how much money you want.
So not just, I want to be rich, a specific number, huh?
Exactly. And then figuring out what you're willing to give in exchange for that wealth. Those extra hours, learning a new skill, maybe even some sacrifices.
You're laying it all out there, the good with the bad.
Right, like a contract with yourself almost. Then setting a deadline, a firm date.
That's smart. Accountability, urgency, I get it.
And then here's the kicker. Step 4, you start working on your plan immediately. No waiting for that perfect moment.
Whoa, dive head first, not just dipping your toes.
Exactly. Then, step 5, you articulate your plan clearly in writing, like literally putting it on paper. He'll believe that forces you to think things through.
So transforming those desires from vague thoughts into a concrete plan, right?
Exactly. And lastly, Hill was a big believer in the power of the subconscious, right? So his final step, you read your written statement aloud twice a day, every day. And while you're reading, you're visualizing yourself already possessing that wealth.
So it's like planting a seed, watering it every day, watching that financial tree grow.
You got it. But what happens when those doubts and setbacks inevitably, creep in?
Because they always do, right? That's life.
That's where belief comes in, Hill's second principle. Unshakable faith in your ability to achieve that goal, even when you hit obstacles. Think of those who built empires from nothing. They didn't let a few no's stop them.
Easier said than done, right? Self-doubt, it's a beast.
Hill actually compares negative thoughts to a virus.
Yeah.
Capable of infecting your mind, sabotaging your efforts. So he's a big advocate for those positive affirmations.
Like choose a phrase and just repeat it over and over.
Yeah. Something that resonates with you, maybe even from the book itself. Repeat it diligently for a week, really feeling its truth. And pay attention to any shifts in your mindset. Do you feel, more optimistic, more confident?
That's interesting because there's actually a scientific basis for affirmations, Studies show they can literally rewire neural pathways in the brain, leading to positive changes in behavior and thought patterns.
Right. And that's what Hill was getting at, even back then. The power of the mind to shape our reality.
It ties into that whole self-fulfilling prophecy thing, right? Your beliefs, even subconscious ones, they shape your actions and ultimately your outcomes.
Precisely. Creating a mental environment that supports your goals, not hinders them. So we've got this burning desire, unwavering belief. What's next in Hill's wealth building formula?
Oh yeah, on me.
He calls it auto-suggestion. Strategically planting suggestions into your subconscious mind, making your mind work for you 24/7.
Kind of sounds like hypnosis, no?
It's a good comparison. Bypassing that conscious, critical mind. Think of it like this. Your conscious mind is the guard at the gate, always questioning. But the subconscious, it's more receptive, like fertile ground waiting for those seeds.
Okay, so how do you plant these seeds effectively?
By combining thoughts with strong emotions. The more vividly you imagine and feel that desired outcome, the more powerfully it embeds itself in your subconscious. He'll suggest finding a quiet place, visualizing your wealth, both morning and night.
It's like living in a VR world of your dream future.
Exactly. Engage all your senses, make it real. Hill was way ahead of his time with that, the power of visualization.
So we've got desire, belief, this auto-suggestion all working together, but surely we need some practical know-how for financial success too, right?
Of course. Hill understood that. His fourth principle is specialized knowledge. Lifelong learning, knowing that knowledge is power, but only if it's relevant.
So not just random trivia, it's got to be applicable to your field, that specialized knowledge. knowing where to find the right info when you need it.
Which raises a question. What specific knowledge do you need to achieve your goals? Are there gaps in your understanding? Experts you could learn from?
Maybe taking a course, a conference, or even just reading the right books, becoming a student of your craft.
Absolutely. Always something new to learn, especially in today's world. And Hill doesn't stop there. He goes on to imagination, his fifth principle.
Now, this is where it gets exciting, but he's not just talking about like daydreaming, right?
Not exactly. He talks about two types of imagination, synthetic and creative. Synthetic is taking existing ideas, recombining them, like remixing a song.
Okay, I get that. So what about creative imagination?
That's birthing entirely new concepts, like composing a whole symphony, thinking outside the box, envisioning what hasn't been done before.
Got it. Building on what's there versus breaking new ground. Both are crucial for financial success, right?
Exactly. Imagine your goal clearly, seeing it, and coming up with innovative solutions to those challenges along the way. Think Coca-Cola. It started as an idea, just like countless other successful companies.
It all begins in the mind. So cultivate that imagination, dream big, don't be afraid to think outside the box.
That's the spirit. Our imagination is one of our most powerful tools, seeing what's possible, even when others can't.
So we've got the desire, the belief, the autosuggestion, the knowledge, the imagination. But how do we turn all this into action? Can't just daydream our way to wealth, right?
Nope. That's where Hill's sixth principle comes in, planning. And he's very clear. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Start acting and refine as you go.
Embrace that trial and error, seeing failure as a learning experience.
Reminds me of that modern idea of grit, that tenacity, persevering, adjusting your plans, never giving up.
So it's not just about having a plan, it's about having the guts to stick with it when things get tough.
Absolutely. And along with that resilience, Hill points out some key leadership qualities, essential for successful planning.
Like what?
Courage, self-control, a positive personality, being able to inspire others. He even mentions developing a pleasing personality.
Not in a manipulative way.
Right. But being someone others genuinely want to work with, support. So it's not just what you know, it's how you interact.
Okay, we've got the plan. But what about when those doubts creep in? We start second-guessing ourselves.
That's where Hill's seventh principle, decision, comes in. He saw procrastination and indecisiveness as major obstacles. His research even showed indecisiveness was common among unsuccessful people. Those who succeeded, they made decisions quickly, confidently.
It makes you think about all those what-ifs that can hold us back.
Right. He tells this great story about a millionaire who made a tough decision, like in a split second, a gamble, but it led to their breakthrough. It's about trusting your gut, avoiding that paralysis of overthinking.
Done is better than perfect, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta just leap.
You got it. You'll never have all the information. At some point, trust your instincts. Make that decision.
So we've made the decision moving forward, but then we hit a wall, feel like giving up. We've all been there.
Of course. That's when persistence, Hill's eighth principle, becomes crucial. Tapping into that willpower, pushing through. Not just hard work, smart work.
And Hill gives 8 steps to increase persistence.
He does. And it's important to remember, no shortcuts to success. Persistence is the key, like the engine driving you towards your goals.
One of the steps is finding a supportive mastermind group, which leads perfectly to principle number 9, the power of the mastermind.
Surround yourself with talented people, right, who share your vision, offer different perspectives.
No one succeeds alone. It's about amplifying your power, accessing more knowledge, staying motivated.
One millionaire Hill interviewed, they attributed their success to their mastermind group. Leveraging that collective wisdom, experience, amazing results.
Like the saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Collaboration, tapping into other strengths, it's powerful.
Absolutely. We're stronger, smarter together, building that network of support, mentorship, reaching our full potential.
Okay, so desire, belief, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, planning, decision, persistence, and the power of the mastermind. What other secrets does Hill have up his sleeve?
Well, this is where things take a bit of an unexpected turn.
Ooh, I love those. Tell me more.
His 10th principle, the mystery of sex transmutation, might raise some eyebrows today.
Lay it on me. I'm all ears.
Essentially, Hill believed that sexual energy, it's this potent force, can be channeled into creativity, achievement, not suppressing desire, but redirecting it, using that powerful drive to fuel ambition, focus.
Okay, I can see how that could be misconstrued, especially today. But from a purely psychological perspective, harnessing our drives for productive purposes, there's something to that.
Exactly. It's about self-control, understanding our desires, using them to propel us towards our goals.
We've all heard those stories of artists, entrepreneurs driven by intense passion, pouring that energy into their work. Maybe that's what Hill was getting at, even if his language is a bit outdated.
It's definitely thought-provoking. Remember, different era, different context. But those core principles, they still hold true.
Well said. So after that little detour, where do we go next?
We delve into principle number 11, the subconscious mind. Working 24/7, absorbing both positive and negative suggestions. So, gotta feed it positive, emotionally charged thoughts.
This ties back to visualization and auto-suggestion, right?
Yes. You program your subconscious through consistent thought patterns, visualizations. It's not just thinking positive thoughts, it's feeling them, experiencing them as if they're already true.
He even talks about invisible counselors, right? Visualizing conversations with successful people, gleaning insights from them.
Like a virtual mentorship program in your mind.
So cool, tapping into a network of support, even if it's all in your imagination. I love it.
It all comes back to the power of the mind. Hill believed we can shape our reality more than we realize.
This is all so fascinating. What other mind-blowing concepts does he have for us?
We'll get ready for this one. Principle number 12 focuses on the brain. And this is where Hill gets, pretty mind-bending.
Lay it on me.
He believed the brain is a powerful transmitter and receiver of what he called thought vibrations. Align your thoughts with your desires, and you can tap into a universal mind of infinite intelligence.
Okay, that sounds a bit like something you'd hear in a New Age seminar. Is he talking about some kind of cosmic consciousness?
It's definitely open to interpretation. Hill was influenced by the spiritual ideas of his time. But you can also view it from a more practical perspective.
How so?
Well, think about it. If thoughts are energy, as many physicists believe, then it makes sense they'd have a frequency, a vibration.
I'm following you. So if we focus our thoughts on a goal, we're sending out a frequency that attracts similar vibrations from the universe.
Exactly. Like tuning your radio to a specific station. You want classical music, you don't tune into a rock station, right?
Right.
Same with attracting wealth and success. Align your thoughts with those outcomes.
It's like the law of attraction, where like attracts like, we have the power to influence our reality through our thoughts. Pretty empowering, isn't it?
It is, but it also means we have a lot of responsibility. Remember, Hill compared negative thoughts to a virus. If thoughts are things, we need to be mindful of what we're focusing on.
It's like mental hygiene, right? Taking care of our thoughts just like we take care of our bodies.
Exactly. Hill gives a ton of techniques for doing that, from affirmations to visualizations to surrounding ourselves with positive people.
So we're aligning our thoughts, tacking into this universal intelligence. What's next on Hill's path to riches?
Now, this is where things get really interesting. He introduces principle number 13, the sixth sense.
Ooh, mysterious. Is he talking about ESP or something?
Not quite. He describes it as an intuitive faculty that emerges when you've mastered all the other principles. Like a heightened sense of awareness, a gut feeling that guides you towards opportunities and helps you make good decisions.
So, not predicting the future, but a deeper connection to your inner wisdom. Like an inner compass that most of us don't know how to use.
Precisely. Hill saw it as a gift that comes from aligning your conscious and subconscious mind, tapping into that universal intelligence, trusting your instincts, those subtle nudges.
It reminds me of flow state that athletes and artists talk about. Being in the zone, everything clicks, peak performance. Maybe Hill's sixth sense is similar, that heightened awareness and intuition.
I think you're onto something. Accessing a deeper level of consciousness where creativity and insight just flow.
So how do we cultivate the sixth sense? Born with it or develop it?
Hill believed everyone has the potential, but you got to master the other 12 principles first, like laying the foundation before you can build that intuitive faculty.
Not adding something new, but refining, integrating what we've already learned.
Exactly. Reaching that level of mastery where the conscious and subconscious work together. Tapping into that deeper wisdom and intuition.
Sounds like a lifelong journey of self-discovery.
It is. And worth it. Because when you trust your intuition, amazing possibilities open up. Things you never imagined.
Stepping into our full potential, embracing both the rational and intuitive.
Absolutely. Bringing us full circle to Hill's message. Thoughts are things. Understanding this, harnessing the power of thought, We become conscious creators.
It's like we're holding the paintbrush, choosing the colors, the shapes for our own masterpiece.
Beautiful analogy.
Yeah.
And it highlights the responsibility we have to create a life filled with purpose, joy, meaning.
It's inspiring, but also a little intimidating. Wow, I have this power, but am I using it? Am I creating the life I truly want?
Powerful questions. And the answer is in continually reflecting on Hill's principles, trying his techniques, finding what works for you. It's a journey. There's no one size fits all.
Becoming the CEO of our own lives, making choices that align with our values, our vision.
Exactly. And the journey never really ends. Always more to learn, more to grow, more to create. Back again for more of Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It's like we're on this treasure hunt, uncovering those powerful principles for, success in life.
I'm still thinking about that quote from last time. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The potential we have, it's like mind-blowing.
Absolutely. And Hill is so sure that anyone, no matter your background, no matter your circumstances, you can tap into that potential. He wasn't just writing for the elite, for anyone who dares to dream big and then actually takes action.
Picking up where we left off, we were about to delve into Hill's final principle, the 14th one. Thoughts are things.
This is where it all comes together. All the other principles, the whole message of the book, our thoughts, they have the power to shape our reality. Consistently focus on those desires, back them up with action, and we can attract the outcomes we want.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? We're not just watching our lives happen, we're creating them. Our thoughts are literally shaping things around us.
That's exactly it. He'll believe we have way more control over our destiny than we often think. It's empowering, but also a bit scary.
Yeah. Like if I'm creating my own reality, then I'm responsible for everything that happens, the good and the bad.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to be mindful of those thoughts, Cultivate positive mental habits. Guard against negativity. Remember Hill's analogy. Negative thoughts, they're like a virus. Got to protect yourself.
So it's like we need to become mental gardeners, tending to our thoughts, making sure we're planting good seeds. Easier said than done though, right? Sometimes those negative thoughts just take over.
Of course. It's a constant thing, a practice, shifting our focus to the positive. Hill has a bunch of techniques for this, affirmations, visualizations, surrounding yourself with good people.
Building a mental fortress brick by brick to keep out all that negativity.
Exactly. The more we practice, the stronger we get. Bouncing back from setbacks, staying optimistic, even when things are tough.
Okay, so we're working on those thoughts. What about actions? Can we just think our way to success?
Well, Hill was all about the power of thought, but he was also clear that action is crucial. They go hand in hand. Thoughts without action are like seeds that never get planted. All that potential, but no results.
So it's finding that balance, having the vision, the belief, but also taking the steps to make it happen.
Exactly. Turning those dreams into plans and then actually doing something, even when it's hard.
There's that word again, persistence. Hill really emphasized that, didn't he?
He did, and for good reason. He saw persistence as the key that unlocks everything else. The bridge between thought and reality.
He even gave us those 8 steps to increase persistence, right? Can we go over those again? Because honestly, I think we could all use a little more persistence in our lives.
Absolutely. Let's do it. First, you gotta have a clear purpose, backed by that burning desire, that fire in your belly, the unwavering commitment to your goal.
Okay, so a clear vision and a strong desire. Makes sense. What's next?
Second, a definite plan, and then continuous action. It's not enough to just have an idea. Break it down into steps and start moving.
Got it. Action, action, action. What else?
Third, close your mind to negativity. Hill compared those negative thoughts to a virus, so protect yourself, like putting on mental armor.
It's a putting on mental armor, right? Protecting yourself from negativity, from outside, and from your own inner critic.
Exactly. Fourth, build an alliance. Find people who encourage you to keep going. This is where that mastermind principle comes in again.
Like having a support system, people who believe in you even when you don't.
Exactly. We all need that, like your personal cheering squad.
Okay, so we've got the purpose, the plan, the positive mindset, and the support team. What are the other steps for increasing persistence?
Fifth, Hill says turn defeat into experience. Reframe failure as a learning opportunity.
It's about having a growth mindset, right? Seeing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow.
Exactly. Sixth, cultivate a sense of appreciation and gratitude for what you have. Focusing on the positive attracts more good things.
Shifting from scarcity to abundance. Appreciating what you already have.
Well said. Seventh, make it a habit to think constructive, positive thoughts. Thoughts are things, remember. So feed your mind good stuff.
Like training our minds to attract success, believing it, and it will come.
Exactly. And finally, the 8th step, give more than you get paid for. Go above and beyond, exceed expectations.
Give more than you take. Creating value for others, making a difference.
Precisely. He'll believe that generosity comes back to you in many ways.
Okay, those are 8 powerful steps, a blueprint for persistence. But it's not just about material success, is it?
You're right, it's not. Hill's message goes beyond just wealth and success. It's about living a life with purpose, with meaning, aligning your actions with your values, contributing to something bigger than yourself, making a positive impact on the world, leaving a legacy.
Wow, that's beautiful. Success is not just about what we achieve for ourselves. It's how we use those achievements to help others and make the world better.
Exactly. I think that message is even more important now than it was when Hill wrote the book. We're more aware of how connected everything is, right? Social responsibility, making a difference.
So Hill's work is about acquiring wealth, but also using it wisely, responsibly, leveraging success to create positive change, a lasting impact.
That's a great way to put it. That's why Think and Grow Rich keeps inspiring people, generation after generation. It speaks to our minds and our hearts, a path to abundance, but also a reminder that true wealth comes from living a life of purpose.
I'm really struck by how deep and relevant his work is, written almost 100 years ago, but his principles are so timely. He was a visionary.
He was. And what he said about the power of the mind, the importance of belief, persistent action, it still resonates with people today. His message is timeless, universal, it goes beyond cultures, beyond generations.
I thought this deep dive would be mostly about money, but it's become so much more than that. It's about personal growth, self-discovery, and reaching our full potential.
I'm glad you see that, because that's the heart of Hill's work. Empowering people to create the lives they want, achieve their dreams, and make a positive contribution. We're all capable of greatness, we just have to believe in ourselves and take action.
And we've only covered 13 of Hill's 14 principles. Be sure to join us next time as we wrap up our deep dive into this classic Think and Grow Rich. Back again for the final part of our deep dive into Think and Grow Rich. Still thinking about those 13 principles, they're amazing. Hill's work from like a century ago, but it feels so relevant today.
It really shows how well he understood human nature, Those principles of success, they're timeless.
Totally. We've covered a lot, but there's one principle left, that 13th one, the 6th sense. Hill calls it the ultimate principle. So curious to hear your take on this one.
This is where it gets really interesting, maybe even a little mystical for some. Hill describes the 6th sense as this intuitive faculty, something that shows up once you've mastered all the other principles, like a heightened awareness, a gut feeling that guides you to the right opportunities, helps you make those wise decisions.
So it's not about seeing the future or reading minds, right? More like tapping into a deeper wisdom, trusting your intuition. Like we all have this inner compass, but most of us don't know how to use it.
Exactly. He'll believe this 6th sense is a gift, but you got to earn it by aligning your conscious and subconscious mind, tapping into that universal intelligence we talked about before, trusting your gut, those little nudges that often guide us in the right direction, if we're paying attention, that is.
It reminds me of that flow state that athletes and artists talk about, being in the zone where everything just clicks. Maybe Hill's 6th sense is kind of like that heightened awareness and intuition.
I think you're right. It's like accessing a different level of consciousness where creativity, insight, and inspiration, they just flow.
So how do we develop this 6th sense? Are we born with it, or is it something we can train ourselves to do?
You'll believe everyone has the potential, but you got to master those other 12 principles first. Like you're building a foundation, and then this intuition can emerge.
So it's not about learning something totally new, but refining what we already know, putting it all together.
Exactly. It's like reaching a level of mastery where your conscious and subconscious mind, they're working in sync. That's how you tap into that deep well of wisdom and intuition.
Sounds like a lifelong journey, discovering yourself, growing.
It is, but so worth it. Because when you trust your intuition and you follow those nudges, so many possibilities open up. Things you never even imagined.
Like we're stepping into our full potential using both our logic and our intuition.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to Hill's main message. Thoughts are things. When you really understand this and you learn how to use the power of your thoughts, you become a conscious creator.
It's like we're the artists of our own lives. We get to choose the colors, the shapes, everything.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it reminds us that we have a responsibility, right, to create a life that's full of purpose, joy, and meaning.
It's inspiring, but also a little daunting. Like, wow, I have this power, but am I using it to its fullest? am I creating the life I really want?
Those are big questions. And I think the answer is in always going back to Hill's principles, trying out those techniques he gives us, and figuring out what works for you. It's your own journey. There's no one right way to do it.
Like becoming the CEO of our own lives, making choices that match our values, our vision.
Exactly. And it's a journey that never really ends. Always more to learn, more to grow, more to create.
Well, I feel like I've learned so much from this deep dive into Think and Grow Rich. It's like a map to success, but also a guide to living a better life, a life that's more fulfilling, more meaningful. And it's about so much more than just money. It's about being the best version of ourselves and creating a world that reflects our best selves.
I couldn't agree more. And I hope our listeners feel inspired to take those principles and actually use them in their own lives. Imagine all the amazing things they could achieve.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Think and Grow Rich, let's take a moment to think about our own thoughts and beliefs. What are you focusing on right now? What are you attracting into your life? And most importantly, what will you choose to think about today?
The power is yours.
Yeah.
Choose wisely, and the world is yours for the taking.